Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Season 2 finale of After the Dragon. And I don't care what anybody says, I love the intro video that I made for this. It is crazy. It is a little bit weird in spots, and I don't care. I love every bit of it.
I like it too.
So we're going to talk about the Season 2 finale, and we missed the last couple of weeks. Sorry, everybody. I had some health issues I was working through, and Mizpah had some personal responsibilities he was dealing with, so that had to take priority. So apologies for missing the last 2 weeks, but we're going to finish here with the end of the Season 2 of After the Dragon. And what a last 3 episodes it's been, but specifically the finale was quite the finale.
It was. And I figured we will touch on that closer to the end of the episode here, but let me ask you, did you see this season headed the direction it went?
I mean, I expected Season 2 was going to be continual build-up. I mean, it wasn't just going to go right to war. At least that would have been very bad for the show producers to do, I think. I think seeing the build-up and seeing how everything is escalating, I think was very important to see. So that's what I expected. I did expect a build-up. I didn't expect to see 2 dragon battles. I guess just one. We saw the one at the end of the first season, and we got to see another one here, and a good one this season.
Yeah.
When that's also when we lost Maylees, and I'm totally drawing a blank on her name now. Maylees and Rainey's. We lost both of them. Team Black lost the queen that never was, and they lost a dragon, Maylees. And as we talked about, I think in that episode, that after show, I think that was a mistake for that. But yeah, I kind of expected to see a build-up. I did expect to see a build-up. What were you expecting?
Honestly, I was expecting to see more people die off.
Yeah, I mean, I think we will see that in Season 3. We'll start losing characters pretty quickly. But it's like I said, I think it's still the build-up. The thing that shocked me the most was Damon's arc. I didn't expect him to spend the entirety of Season 2 at Heron Hall.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about his whole storyline so far. Like, he goes to Heron Hall, and all of a sudden, the ghosts of ancestors past start whispering to him, and he starts getting like visions and stuff, and he didn't believe in any of that.
I think it's good that you bring that up, because I'm sure that a lot of people are with you on that they didn't really like Damon's arc or what was happening. They didn't like the telling of it. I thought, I'll admit, through most of the season, I was confused about what was going on. But in hindsight, now that I've seen all of Season 2, what I think it did was it added to the lore of Heron Hall, because the story is Heron Hall is cursed. That the ghosts of Heron the Black and his sons, haunt the Heron Hall. So I think they added more to the lore of that. Is it haunted? Of course, it's not haunted. It's not actually haunted by their ghosts. But there is clearly some kind of magic there in Heron Hall. And I think that helps add to the lore of it, why people think it's cursed. I think that added to the lore of it. Why I think now it makes more sense why in Game of Thrones, when they were at Heron Hall, why everybody was so willing to just blame it on all these things that were happening on the ghosts of Harrenhal. Because every time an army or something is encamped there, something strange inevitably happens. Is that because they're at Harrenhal, or is that because when you have thousands of men somewhere, some weird stuff's likely going to happen? I don't know, but I think it helped add to the lore of Harrenhal. Damon's journey.
I can see that.
Damon's journey specifically was guided by that witch who's with him. She's obviously some kind of guide for him. And I think all of those visions, as you said, if he would have just seen a vision, he would have dismissed it, as he did as soon as he started experiencing it. He was chalking it up to, oh, it's nothing. I need sleep. It's the ghosts. The ghosts are, keeping me from sleep. I think he needed to experience all that so that the final vision he would believe and understand it. And I think the witch, who I am totally drawing a blank on what her character name is. My apologies for that. Let me see if I can look it up quick. But I think she was the guide.
All right. And I wasn't 100% sold on the fact that
Alice Rivers. That's her. That's who the character's name is. The witch, Alice Rivers. Yeah. I think she's leading some kind of a guide, and that final vision he has of the knights of the army of the White Walkers and the Night King, and we saw Daenerys there with her dragons. I think that showed him that there is something bigger than himself, and that it doesn't, like, if he doesn't fall in line, all could be in ruin.
And let's talk about that vision for a minute. How they brought in little glimpses of the Game of Thrones and
the advantages of.
I like what they did with that, like the imagery there. I really like that, but I feel like having him all of a sudden be like, I get it now, and like kneel down, like, yep, you are the queen. I felt like they needed that. There could have been a little bit more to that.
Like what, for example? Because I'm not sure what I think it. What else would you have seen Daemon do?
So, and maybe we'll see some of it in season 3, but yeah, he understands the vision. Yeah, he understands she's to be the queen. But does he have to be happy about it?
Oh, I'm not necessarily sure if he's happy about it. He's accepted it. I think he's accepted it. And this is what I would point to specifically in case there's people out there wondering, oh, maybe it's not real. He's just playing the game. And, I kind of thought that at first too, but he knelt to her.
Yeah. And I kind of was thinking that too until he knelt.
Yeah. I think him kneeling was the symbol. I think that's what you needed to be seeing in that scene, was that he knelt to her. He didn't just rally his people to her cause. He didn't just stand by her side as the king, as he's been calling himself in Harrenhal.
Mm-hmm.
He actually knelt to the queen in front of all of his men that he's been recruiting for himself. Let's be real. He's been recruiting for himself to make a claim, not to.
Oh, absolutely.
Not to recruit for Rhaenyra. Okay. It wasn't until that final vision, I think, that he decided he was in Rhaenyra's corner. So him kneeling in front of all of his men, I think was big.
And if you remember, she had asked him to kneel to her before.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah. I'm thinking that was the that was the symbol there.
So
I think that resolved that, and I think, but I it's not what I expected from Daemon. I expected Daemon's character to have maybe half the season be at Harrenhal and experience this. I did not expect it to take the whole season like it did. They really, I don't want to say drew it out, because it wasn't boring. It was just, I didn't expect quite that. I thought it was going to be something different. But now that I've seen it, I think it was one of the highlights of season 2.
And I agree with you with losing the queen that never was. I was really disappointed with that. I think they could have done so much more with that character.
Yeah, there she is, Maylees. This is after she broke into the dragon pit. So yeah, losing her I think was big, but you know it also cost them Sunfire. Cost the other side Sunfire.
Yeah.
Which, you know, the other side doesn't have that many dragons. Vagar and the other one is only a small dragon. I don't know if I have the third. His other brother's dragon. Actually, I don't think I have a picture of that because I don't know that we've actually seen it yet. But other than Vagar now, that's the only other dragon. The other dragons I don't think are very big. They're just little ones. Just like Vermax is here. You know, he's a really small dragon. He was hatched shortly after Luke was born. So, you know, it's a small dragon. So really Vagar is the Team Green's only major dragon right now. Oh, and I'm sorry, the Queen's dragon, Dreamfire, which I don't know that we have. This is a potential Dreamfire picture. I'm not 100% certain if this is Dreamfire, but Helena has Dreamfire.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not a dragon. She's a dragon rider, but she's not a fighter. You know what I mean? Like some bad stuff's going to happen for her to be a fighter. So I don't know how that's going to work out. So they only have Aemond and Vagar.
So if I remember correctly, isn't there a quote like a dragon out in the wild currently?
There's 3 wild dragons. Excuse me, sorry. There's 3 wild dragons. And I did have them in front of me, and then I closed the window before we started recording because I thought it was unnecessary. I didn't need it, and I didn't realize what window I closed. But there are 3 wild dragons. One of them is being chased by is it Bela or Reyna? Bela went with the children, right? I think it was Bela. Bela is searching for that wild dragon. She might have found the wild dragon.
Yeah. And that was kind of where I was heading with that was, you know, so there's still a chance to balance out the dragon count if they can wrangle up these 3 wild dragons.
Well, now only 2 because Bela has one of them.
Provided that the dragon accepts, well, I guess it kind of did accept her.
Okay, and Tessarion is the other. Okay, so Team Green, if you will, Team Green has Vagar, Dreamfire, Sunfire. We know fell when the king was injured, and Tessarion. That's the other small one that will be part of their stable. And then, yeah, you can continue.
So there's still 2 dragons out there, and one of them is like the biggest dragon alive currently, isn't it?
No, Vagar. Actually, Vagar's the largest dragon right now. Vagar's is the only dragon that was, I think, the only other dragon that was alive during the conquest, during Aegon's conquest. Balerion the Black Dread and Vagar were both rode by King Aegon, and Vagar was rode by one of his sisters, Visenya, if I'm not mistaken. And
I thought one of the wild dragons was bigger than Vagar.
No, Vagar's the biggest, and in fact, Vermithor is the second biggest, and that was just claimed by Team Black.
Okay.
And now the three wild ones are Sheep Stealer, Cannibal, and Grey Ghost. Now, Sheep Stealer is the one I believe that Bela is going to be trying to get. We might see, I don't know if we'll see that. If we'll see her trying to claim it at the beginning of season 3, or if they'll just have her riding her, you know, showing that she was successful. I'm not sure yet, but
yeah.
Sheep Stealer is the one rumored to be the one that Bela was chasing after, and it's nicknamed that because of its taste for sheep.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 other ones, Cannibal and Grey Ghost, but I don't know much about those ones at this point myself. I haven't done too much research on those guys, but there are 2 other wild dragons then. Yes.
I have a feeling we'll see both of them in season 3.
And this is Vermithor, I'm pretty sure. We're pretty sure this is Vermithor in the Dragon Pit. That's Damon standing in front of him at this time, not the person who's riding him. The person who's riding him is, dang it, the one of the new Dragon Riders. We got new Dragon Riders, Miss Paul. Let's talk about that for just a second.
Yeah, the
Team Black. Oh, or Hugh. Hugh is the one that's riding Vermithor now.
okay.
Clearly a bastard of Targaryen descent.
Yeah, how about speaking of that? How about the building an army of bastards?
Yeah. Hey, you know, you have to wonder if maybe that's what part of the downfall of the Targaryen dynasty is, if this is part of what could potentially lead to it, is bringing in people, not just people who they obviously have the blood, or the dragons would reject them. So, because we explained before that the connection between the Targaryens and the dragons is believed to be of magic. That's why they have an attachment, or the closeness that they do. So,
Well, I think this season we saw it's more than just having the blood.
no, you have to have the blood. That's part of it. You have to be a descendant somewhere in your family line of a Targaryen. No non-Targaryen has picked up a dragon yet that I am currently aware of. Everybody, even the two bastards, Hugh and Ulf, are of Targaryen descent.
Well, no, what I mean by that is it's more than just having the blood. Like, you also have to have, for lack of a better explanation, the guts to ride a dragon.
Or do you? I would argue Ulf did not stand up to that dragon that he claimed. I would argue Ulf bowed down and begged for his life against Sea Smoke. He claimed Sea Smoke.
Yeah, that's true.
Ulf claimed Sea Smoke, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, Sea Smoke was claimed by Adam, the Valerian bastard. That's who claimed Sea Smoke.
But he did steal himself before it was done.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that the blood has as much to do with it as them, as some other kind of connection. I kind of agree with you that there's probably some other kind of an X factor or something. But it definitely has to be the blood, or at least that's what we've seen so far. We haven't seen anybody who is not of a Targaryen descent claim a dragon. We've seen people who are believed to be of Targaryen descent not claim a dragon.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of barbecues this season.
Yeah, and Rhaenyra's, you gotta. I mean, realistically, Rhaenyra really lucked out in that whole thing, because that was a catastrophe.
Yeah,
all those that was a buffet. That was a bastard buffet.
Yeah, that was
for Vermithor.
That wasn't one of her smartest ideas.
No, I mean, that was like throw things against the wall and see what sticks. Like, that was just like, hey, yeah.
That was desperation and poor planning.
Yeah, and she ended up with 2 dragon riders out of it somehow.
Luck. Or fate.
Yeah, and then now she's got the 3rd one with Adam claiming Sea Smoke. So, she increased 3 dragons in season 2 while only losing 1, a big one, but in hindsight and what she gained, not as much now. So, and the other side lost Sunfire, and Aegon, the king, is badly scarred, and we're gonna get to what's up with him in just a couple of minutes. But they lost Sunfire. Now they're down to 2 or 3, including one of them being a junior dragon.
Yeah.
Whereas Team Black has 1, 2, 3, 4 and a junior, and then even juniors, like the kids, like all of her kids have dragons, little baby dragons. They're just babies yet. They're not even old enough to fly. So, and they might even get another one with Bela. So right now it is Team Black has the dragon advantage, but they don't have the army advantage. I know Daemon got a good army at Harren Hall, but they don't have the army that Team Green has. The land army, the ground army. Let's talk about the king then.
I was actually just getting ready to mention the real queen.
Helena?
The,
Or are
the
you talking about Rhaenyra?
light-haired.
Alicent. Who are you talking about? Alicent or Helena?
Is it Helena? That's the really timid one.
The prophet? Yeah, she's a prophet. Remember, if you listen, if you go back and listen, Helena's a prophet. She says early in season 1 that it's going to cost Aemon and I to get a dragon. She's concerned about something underneath the floor before Meleys breaks through the dragon pit floor. And she knows that Aemon barbecued Aegon. So she has like the prophet, she's a prophet. Yeah. She can see things. And she was having that conversation. I don't know if anybody else noticed this. Daemon had that vision. We were talking about the visions, right? The last one, when he's finally accepted when he's finally accepted what's going on. Helena's in that vision, okay? Mm-hmm. And then when Aemon comes out onto the balcony, she's talking to somebody. I'll bet you she's experiencing that vision in real time.
What do you mean?
When Aemon walked out there onto the balcony, she was talking to someone, not to Aemon. At least that's what I think. That's what I think.
Okay.
And I think she was talking to Daemon in his vision.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't pick that up. I wasn't thinking about that. That's an interesting. That's real interesting.
Yeah, she was saying something before Aemon walked out. Now, I didn't quite catch exactly what it was. I thought maybe it might have been to Aemon, but then the way they started their conversation, I was like, wait a minute. What she said that was not directed at Aemon. So, and I went back and listened to it, and I swear it sounded like it was part of what she was saying in the prophecy, or like her finishing this, something like it just sounded like it was more like it wasn't directed at Aemon, who was right there coming out onto the balcony.
Yeah, I didn't even give that any thought. That would be interesting.
Excuse me. Sorry, everybody. I did not turn my phone down before I started recording this. That was my mistake.
You amateur.
Yeah, I was. We were just trying to get this going here, so before it got too late.
Good.
So what about Aegon then? He's left. He's leaving with Larys Clubfoot.
Yeah, so the whole the queen or queen regent, I guess technically.
Well, it's Prince Regent. Alicent is just the queen mother, I guess.
Queen mother, whatever you want she considers herself.
Yeah, she made the trade, and now Aegon's gone.
Made the trade, put her life on the line to, pursue peace, and made the deal that she would just give over the kingdom and give over the throne. And, we saw that entire scene play out. And then they leave us hanging with the prince is fleeing town.
The king.
Or, I'm sorry, the king.
Yeah, King Aegon King is fleeing with Larys. And I like how Alicent thinks that she's just going to hand this over, and neither of them, Rhaenyra nor Alicent, discussed Aemon, I don't think, if memory serves. Nobody discussed, they mentioned how Aemon's out of control, but nobody mentioned that he's going to have to be, his head's going to be on a spike too. He's not going to bow to Rhaenyra.
So the question I have for you is, did she know that the king was leaving before?
That's interesting.
Her meeting with.
Is that why she agreed to it? Because she knew he'd be gone? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know because it seemed like Alicent really wanted peace, and with Aegon gone, I don't think that that's going to, and like I said, nobody mentioned Aemon. So, I don't know. It's possible. That's an interesting thought. That's possible, but I don't know. It seemed like Alicent really wanted peace before, lots of people died.
But does she still think she can get that without the king being killed?
Yeah. I mean, and, even if Alicent agrees, Aemon's never going to agree to be killed. Aemon's never going to agree to bow to Rhaenyra. He's never going to agree to it. So Aegon, in my opinion, Aegon's already out as king. I don't care. He could join Rhaenyra's Team Black right now, and I think he's still out. Aemon is in control of the Seven Kingdoms.
And how do you think Rhaenyra's going to take the news that the king has left town?
I think she'll, same thing. I think, we're going to war. That's where it's going to lead. That's what season 3 should be. I think season 3 will start with, we'll start seeing the beginning of the war. We'll probably have a couple of episodes of build up, like what's happened since, like what would because the end of season 2, left us hanging with some events. They have to be resolved before we actually get to armies fighting each other, likely. So we'll probably have a couple of episodes before we get to some real combat, but I don't expect it to take long. Maybe even episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking we might start out episode 1 with Rhaenyra showing up to claim the throne.
It could be. It could be. And we could see a dragon fight right off the bat. Then Vhagar wouldn't be. Either he's going to flee or I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know how it's going to go.
Now, I would suspect that. Okay, the king left town, but it's not about offing the king. It's about a son for a son. So, all right, I can't kill him.
Yeah, but Aemon's not going to give up. Aegon was already defeated. He would have just been put to the sword. You know what I mean? It would have just been it. Aemon's not going to the sword.
It doesn't mean Aemon's going to be willing, but that could be what Rhaenyra decides is the renegotiation.
Yeah, but she'll have to kill him.
Yeah,
in a different way than she would have killed Aegon.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, and I do want to say that I love the parallels that the creators. I don't know if this was George R. R. Martin's vision because I haven't read the books, but I think the parallels after Aegon gets burnt between him and his father Viserys getting chewed up by the throne. I think they looked so similar there in that last episode, dude. So similar. I was like, oh my goodness, man. It's like looking at another Viserys.
Yeah, they did. I think that had to be intentional.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did so good with that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, it looks just like Viserys. Viserys got chewed up by the throne, but Aegon got, burned up in the dragon fire. So, yeah. Well, that's the end of season 2. Season 3, as we said, will likely go right into combat. I expect we'll see it within the first 1 or 2, maybe 3 tops episodes. Now, from what I understand, and I don't know this for sure yet, make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. You can follow us on Twitter as well. All of that information is listed in the description of this video. I believe that the next season of House of the Dragon is going to be in 2026. And 2025 is when they're going to do the 2 Knights of the Seven Kingdoms show with Dunk and Egg. So Duncan the Tall and Aegon Targaryen. And I think that's going to be 2025. And what they're going to do is they're going to leapfrog the seasons. So the next season for House of the Dragon will be 2026. And then the season after that will be 2028. And 2025 will be the first season of Dunk and Egg, and 2027 will be the second season of Dunk and Egg.
Whatever happened to Snow?
Snow is shelved.
Really?
Yeah. And anybody who's out there seeing it, because I see it every couple of weeks, I see the snow thing pop up on my feed. People are sharing it out that the series is coming soon or whatever. It's not. It's not. It's been shelved. It's not. It's not happening. At least not right now.
Huh.
I don't know the exact reasons. I don't know if it was costs or if it was something with Kit Harington. I don't know what the details are of it. I just know that it has been shelved and it won't be happening anytime in the immediate to near future. The only one that's been greenlit is the one that we should see next year, Dunk and Egg, Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, Dunk and Egg, and that's next year. And that's how they're supposed to be doing it every other year. I guess because the production of it is so big, that's why they're doing it that way. It's the only thing I can think of. I personally think HBO needs to step it up.
Yeah, I think people start to lose interest waiting 2 years.
Game of Thrones is popular. I mean, create the universe. I don't understand why they're not doing Snow, why they're not doing an Arya Stark spinoff. I don't understand why they're not doing a lot of stuff. That there's a huge universe that we could be, learning about and having series on. So
yeah,
I think they need to be expanding.
I agree.
People are even talking about they want an Aegon, a series about Aegon the Conqueror and him conquering the Seven Kingdoms. They want Henry, and the big popular thing on social media right now is they want Henry Cavill to play Aegon the Conqueror, which I think would be the most perfect choice in all of human history.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah, it would be a great series, and who doesn't want to see that? I wouldn't mind seeing one. I wouldn't mind seeing spinoff. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing one of the First Men, and how the White Walker's origin put in that series. Yeah. So there's a lot that I'd like.
There's so many things they could be doing. They need to be.
Not doing one. Things. Yeah, not doing one every 2 years. They need to be doing one every year or two a year, and make more series.
Yeah, they could safely do 2 a year and still stretch this out for 6-8 years.
Yeah. But we will hopefully be back. We will probably be back for season 3 when it comes out. And our season 3 of After the Dragon will be much better than our season 2. This is our first series that we've had a season 2, our first after show series that we've had a season 2. And we learned as much this season as we did when we launched it, last in season 1. So season 3, when there is one, will be hopefully our best season yet. And I expect House of the Dragon's best season yet. So that's something to look forward to. Again, it might not be until 2026. So until then, stay tuned to Mayhem Media for a bunch of other episodes and topics. And the website will be launching soon. So stay tuned to Mayhem Media. And until then, I guess we'll see you next season for After the Dragon.
Have a good night.